Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 162, and today we're going to be doing battle with Akshan Kaisa Teemo. And so this deck, it ties together a lot of the themes that I really like in this patch, and a lot of the things that I've been trying to explore and really have come together and pushed together. And so the varietal of themes going on with this one, number one, we're playing a Kaisa deck, but we typically just see Kaisa within Demacia, and that makes a lot of sense. That's where you find things like Petricite Broadwing that passes out two keywords. You find barriers, which is a good keyword. You get a lot of board control in the various challengers. You get the Scout Challenger and the Quinbird, and so there's lots of great interactive elements there. But the deck doesn't feel like it's really doing that well in the current meta. You might look at it in best of three as a third deck, and you may look at decline with it in the ladder if you just like playing Kaisa, but in general, haven't been super happy with it up to this point. And so I've been looking for a way to kind of expand out Kaisa. And even if we don't like Kaisa outside of Demacia, it's still a valuable exercise in the event that a new keyworded card comes out in the next set, or we get a new Evolve unit or something. I like to kind of keep in the back of my head that this is a strategy we've partaken in, and the things that we like and dislike about it. And so thing number two is I really like Overwhelms in this format. If you caught our previous video playing Akshan Renekton, there was a lot of ideas there that I really like. The deck, it's okay. I did play it quite a bit more since we made the video. Still feels a little weak in the format, but there might be something to it. The big things we're looking at coming out of Akshan Renekton, we're playing the Renekton along with the Ruin Runner as another Overwhelm, and then using it with the Darkened Bloodletters. The Zolani, can't quite see him here, but it does flip into a big Overwhelm unit. And so the way that this ties back into Kaisa is I've been wanting to play Void Blaster in all of these decks. A 4/4 Overwhelm per 4 is still a pretty decent deal, even if it doesn't get evolved. And then in the late game, if we do get evolved, it's going to be quite nice and strong. And so by kind of moving over to this Kaisa-based shell, we're going to get access to Void Blaster as another strong Overwhelm. We're going to get access to Kaisa as well. She can pick up Overwhelm through her second skins. And so that is idea number two that we're running with here, is we want to be able to hit with the Overwhelms as hard as we can. And then the last piece that we're looking to explore and take advantage of is more usage of the Darkened Bloodletters. I've been a huge fan of the Darkened Bloodletters. I think this is one of the most powerful and best cards out of the new set, and trying to take a little bit more advantage of it here. And we've seen it used to great extent and power with Akshan. The other card that I'm pretty excited to get to use it with is Assistant Librarian. Having a unit with Faded plus the Darkened Bloodletters gives us that 4/3 unit on the second turn of the game. And so we have two really high-powered plays for the Bloodletters in the early game, and both Akshan and the Librarian, and then moving into Bandle City gives us access to the Wandering Shepherd. So on the other end of the curve, so say we didn't actually pick up a Darkened Bloodletters, or if we wanted to play one of our various 1-drops on turn 1, we still have a nice way to target either our Assistant Librarian or target our Akshan with a weapon generator coming from the Wandering Shepherd. And so a nice, really strong collection of early game power that we look to then transition into the Overwhelms with. The other thing with this early game power is there is a lot of keywords attached to it. Faded is one of these keywords that you typically didn't look for with Kaisa, right? It wasn't super strong. You never really looked to attach it to her, but picking up things like the Assistant Librarian that's just good on its own makes me feel nice to have access to these with Kaisa, and you don't feel as bad with your keyword selection coming out of your what do you call the Void Link. And so it's kind of an interesting concept there. In terms of the rest of the deck, we are just trying to piece together the keywords where we can. So we have the Xersai Hatchling as our dual keyworded unit. We're coming through the rest of these. Blast Cone Seedling, only one copy, but it can generate two separate keywords. The more standard Betheldi Elder as our last evolve unit, and then the Papercraft Dragon here as a mean to hit keywords with the double strike, and then just another way to close out these games with the more standard Ruin Runner plus Papercraft Dragon. Otherwise, we just have a kind of standard collection of spells between the Shapestone and Absolver for combat tricks, Ancient Hourglass, Rite of Negation for protection, and then the Exhaust for just a little bit of interactivity. And so that's it. That's what we're going to be doing battle with today. I'm pretty sure the pay to win price was been paid. I know I went and checked all of our skins, and those look pretty good. We got to just check all of our non-epic, non-champion cards, and it looks good. Everything in here except for the Darkened Bloodletters is turned premium, and God, we've been playing this in so many. Let's just do it. Let's just go for it. Set the deck to full premium. Load up our Darkened Bloodletters. It feels good. It feels like my day is positive and good and winning now. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for battle. So as we jumped into the battles, the thing I wanted to say with the champions is we typically just play 3 Kaisas across the board, but we're not going to be able to hit Evolve as easily as we do coming out of the Demacia-based decks. And so, what's her name? Kaisa typically wasn't that bad. As a third copy unit, like if you drew it, you knew you were going to get to pop off some power with it, and then if you drew the second copy, you could have it just be useful with Supercharge. But I don't feel like we're going to be flipping Kaisa with a ton of frequency here, and so I'm okay to just let her. If we only draw 1 copy of her, it's fine. If she gets killed, it's fine. We're not super all in with Kaisa as we would be in the more pure Demacia Evolved decks. All right, up against Akshan Pantheon. This one's starting to pick up a bit of theme. Another deck that's looking to take quite a bit of advantage of the Darkened Bloodletters. And now we have a decision, right? We can go with the Akshan Bloodletters. This would let us make the 3/2 champion that can quick attack quite nicely into this board. But if he has a +1/+1 for the Saga Seeker, then everything's just going to fall apart. And so I'm actually just going to go with the Assistant Librarian here. So if opponent puts a +1/+1 onto the Saga Seeker, it makes it a 3/4, and then we can look to trade the Bloodletters and the Bloodletters into the Saga Seeker. He had a Bloodletters of his own. It's fine. We'd look a little bit better here with the action, but I think I'm good with just coming in and making a trade here, as opposed to being on a spot to where we attack with action and he just dies, right? If we say played our action, opponent didn't do anything, and then we put the Bloodletters on action and he was just like, LOL, still going to pass, then we run into a bit of a bind in terms of just getting everything we have shut down. All right, he goes for big unit. That's okay. I'm going to drop the action now. He's a little bit safer at this stage. I'm still not really interested in blocking any of this. And then we're just going to come down next turn and then Wandering Shepherd our action. So this is fine. We'll let that one go. I'm going to wait just a moment on the Darkened Bloodletters, but we can get Teemo down. And there is a world where we just want to start like equipping up Teemo, right? He is kind of nice to punch in that elusive damage. If you find the scout weapon, that can be particularly obnoxious with Teemo. And so it's not like he's in here all on his own in terms of what he's providing to the deck. But all right, let's load up action. This will be a Pan of Pain. He already has quick attack, and then we're happy enough to add Tough into the mix. Still have to worry a bit about this Saga Seeker, but we have to be attacking at this point. I'm not going to leave our Teemo leave our action sitting at home. Oh, get back here. There we go. That's a little bit better. And so he did play his Pale Cascade last turn, which makes me feel a little bit better about attacking with action here. Just a little bit less combat tricks that they can actually have. And with him not actually pushing himself into combat, I would assume that he just doesn't have any more at this point. But I think that's a pretty reasonable spot to just throw our action into the mix. We have to get him on board at some point, right? Now we're to where we can hit our what do you call it? We can actually hit our evolve. We have a spell shield out of the Elder and then a fearsome out of either of our other 2 units. I'm leaning towards just dropping the hatchling here, so we can just throw it in front of his good unit. Our other option is, what if we say put the Bloodletters onto the Shepherd, throw the Shepherd in front of the Dark Enthrall, and then we can look to play Zolani next turn. Can't quite drop it this turn, but I think that's safe and fair. Be looking to take... right, we're lining up with this. Akshan gets a good block, and then we just take 7. I'm not quite as worried about these decks as you would be against the Pantheon decks of old, to where they're playing all the cataclysms and all the rallies, and they can get a bunch of double attacks in. Like his Pantheons here just aren't nearly as scary as they used to be. Now, do we want to actually go after the Saga Seeker? It's a little scary at this point. And so I'm not opposed to trying to take it down with Zolani. We would need to equip Zolani at that point, right? I think we'd be 1 mana short of pulling that off if we want to Merciless Predator the Saga Seeker. I think we're still on board with the Merciless Hunter, even if all we do with this turn is hook the Saga Seeker with the Dark Enthrall and let our other units punch in. Yeah, take that puff cap damage. And so are we on Zolani here? I think it's okay. We could say, hey, let's be all in and target our Teemo with the Wandering Shepherd, but I'm not quite willing to go with the puff caps in that way. If we want to draw a card, is there even anything good? We could try and pick up Shaped Stone. I think we probably just want to go for our 5 attack bro. So are we able to get lethals this turn? I think we might be able to. So we're going to drop the Elder, drop the and drop the Weaponsmith. Hook the Saga Seeker out of combat, and then see if he just like taps out for a Pantheon or something. Mm-hmm. We didn't hit the scout right from the start. That's too bad. That's too bad. Okay, he goes Bloodletters onto Pantheon. Let's see what we're in for here. Lifesteal would be the one that would be annoying, and Elusive would also be annoying. But what do we got? Quick Attack, Challenger, Overwhelm. Sure. So it's like our last decision here is going to be, do we want to say like put the Sandstone Charger down and then Pan of Pain so that we get in for an extra +1 damage? I don't think that does quite enough. But I don't really want to draw cards here, right? There's no card draw that's going to really assist us with this turn. It's all about the Sandstone Charger. Really wish we had an additional fearsome here. Or I'm sorry, an additional vulnerable if we had our exhaust. The other thing to kind of worry about here is this is a this is a quick attack challenging or an overwhelm challenging Pantheon. We're not going to be able to get our small health units off the board fast enough. He's going to be a problem. We still just got to bring it though. Pan of Pain's going to be a little bit short. Like we could look to drop Zolani onto one. We're going to have too many 1-healthers. All right, yeah, we're probably just dead here. He boomed us a little too hard. GG, my dude. I think I got my game sound messed up. Let me see if we can fix that real quick. I turned it down. I was watching the old footballs yesterday, and to keep the game sound going how I wanted, it was too loud coming out of Runeterra. I think we're fixed now. I think we're good. right, what do we got? Something. Okay, Trundlemere. I've been considering playing a bit of Trundlemere, but man, there's so many Rite of Negations running around these days. It doesn't feel particularly safe. But here we'll hang on to our Librarian. Look for some more of these Librarian combos, whether or not it's the Darkened Bloodletters or if it's the Equip unit. Also happy with some actions here in the early game. Didn't quite come together, but if we can get one of these Librarians up to a 3 health so that it can survive Blighted Ravines, feel a little bit better. It's not happening. Our friends didn't turn up. But also wouldn't mind taking down the faces of the old ones if we can find a target. I mean, at the end of the day, you can just target your assistant librarian with a pokey stick to give it that faded trigger. So you might actually look to do this on the next turn. I mean, I guess we already have a 3-power unit in the Betheldi Elder, but you got some options here. Bloodletter's perfect. So let's play around the Avalanche. And we'll drop the Elder. We'll exhaust the faces of the old ones, hook it with the Elder. Try to get a little card advantage from the Librarian. Not a bad start.
I was born in Hellbeth. I cannot leave.
Did we do good? Did we get him? Seems like he's probably just going to play Catalyst of the Aeons, but it'd be nice to take the faces down. Did we get him? Did he rage quit? Nothing wrong with that. All right, fair enough.
Don't think I know that one.
Let's see, he really wanted to hang on to that ramp. Oh boy, we got all the librarians. I think we can add in one. I don't want to like slam both of them down and then have him just play a Blighted Ravine. Because it's like, at least in this space, we have the options to where if he plays Blighted Ravine, then we can pokey stick his faces. Or if he spends mana on something else, then we could potentially punch through. Or with that board, he plays the Blighted Ravine, we could also just Shape Stone a Librarian to buy a little bit of time. All right, we probably lost this one. We haven't done very much damage up to this point. I mean, I guess you can't call it quits when you have the Bloodletters and stuff, but looks like we're starting to get a little bit short in damage. If he blocks with his faces, that would be quite nice, though. Still would feel okay if we could take that thing down. And I'm still like, I mean, we should probably just be pokey sticking this Librarian, right? Get the card draw out of it, and then I'm going to want to play Zolani on our opponent's next turn. We have to start watching with our mana now. Like, we do have the Rite of Negation. Ideally, we would save it for a Feel the Rush type card, but if we have to drop it next turn, we might just have to drop it. Papercraft Dragon's ready to party. He's not so hot without an Overwhelm, but maybe one day. All right, so we've activated Faded on our 2 to the left. If you're not sure what you've already targeted, you can see with the little Faded symbol on it. It's still lit up over here on our Librarian to the right. So we're going to go ahead and swap his equipment. It's going to give it a faded, and then I'm going to put the other Darkened Bloodletters on our one that's already been activated. It's still going to die, right? It's not going to get any more +1/+1s, but it is going to give us a Dark Enthrall. There's nice combo time. That might work out with the Ruin Runner Papercraft. Have to see how much mana opponent spends here. Like if he taps out for a the 8 cost AoE unit, it's not going to be that great. I'm curious how he goes about this turn. Like he can't just pass back to us, right? That doesn't seem awesome. Like I'm not even really that opposed to us overbanking 3 this turn and then being ready with the Rite of Negation. But I would think that he would, if he had like a Trundle, that would be his idea play here, right? So he can Trundle and then next turn Field Rush. But if he spends more than 5 mana this turn, he can't feel the rush next turn. Or same thing applies if he loses his Faces of the Old Ones. If he drops back to 8 mana next turn with a 3 bank, then he can't. Then he can't feel the rush. So I think it's okay if he plays his 8 cost unit here. We'll lose everything except for our Ruin Runner, but we have some options on the follow-up turn. Lighted Ravine. Okay, I feel much better now. So he's going to lose his Faces and he can't play Feel the Rush. He's going to be stuck on mana next turn. We have a couple options with this one. We can just generate another Dark Enthrall if we want. Our problem with next turn is we can't... we can't like Papercraft Dragon plus play another spell. And the Ruin Runner is just going to be short, right? He's not. We can't get the Ruin Runner up to 10 with the Papercraft Dragon hit. I think we want to just bank our mana here. Oh no, we have another thing coming back, whatever these are called. The Bloodletters will come back next turn. Right, we have one on this Assistant Librarian. So we can equip our Dark Enthrall and let it survive the Ravine. Oh shit, he does have Feel the Rush mana now. He got the tick up before his unit died. Oops. Still okay. We get to equip the Bloodletters to Dark Enthrall and then Rite of Negation his Feel the Rush. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Still short of lethal, but one thing at a time. It's wild how much worse Papercraft Dragon is now that it costs 6. You used to be able to set up these turns to where you would, on your turn 5, you would bank 3 mana and play a Ruin Runner. And then on your turn 6, you could equip the Papercraft Dragon to the Ruin Runner and then still be ready with the Rite of Negation, or you could be ready with an Absolver +1. And then they just took that all away from us. It's all gone now. All right. Well, that's all the damage we have. Curious what he's holding back here. He's at least got this clicky board, right? So we have to sit here and we have to sit here and wait on it. I mean, it's just going to be like a Vengeance or the box or something. It's not going to be one of the big game enders. You're buried in the ice kind of spells are all slow. Take longer though. We got all day. Let's take longer, my dude. Maybe he did disconnect. Maybe he's taking a shit at work and dropped his phone in the toilet. Who knows? Vengeance. There you go. Good job, my dude. All right. I don't want to replay the Bloodletters. I want to potentially drop a Zolani. Like, it's probably not going to be in the cards, right? Ideally, like, we'll go into next turn. He's going to tap out for Feel the Rush. We'll hit it with Rite of Negation and then just put the Papercraft onto the Ruin Runner. But I want to keep our Zolani option open if we need to drop it. I mean, I guess technically for 1 mana, we could tick down action by 1, right? This Dark Enthrall has the Bloodletters on it, and we can still get a 3 bank. Oh, we've already played it. Okay, never mind. You can cycle through a lot of equipments like this. If you haven't seen that dumb stuff happen to where you generate an equipment with, say, like the Wandering Shepherd, and then you put the Bloodletters on top of that unit, and then you take the now bounced equipment and put it somewhere else. There's lots of cycles that you can roll through. But seems like opponent is gone. Hopefully they don't just boom us here. his timer's counting down pretty fast, and so I'm going to go ahead and just drop the Papercraft, but hopefully we don't get burned by this. All right. I believe we've done it. Ooh, and we hit a lurk. There we go. Just wait on that timer one more time. We're gonna be good. At least we can click on his board, right? Oh my god, he's back. Oh my god. Alright, he played a Catalyst. Good job. Alright, GG.
One step closer to a world without villains.
Okay, next battle. See our Teemo pop up and I say, oh fuck, we're playing against some other Teemo. That's alright. Okay, Nora Nami. Lots of Nora been popping up these days, but with hands like this, these are the kind of secondary cards I want, right? When we see the Bloodletters and the Shepherd, I want to be hitting actions and I want to be hitting Librarians. And then after that, we can look for the Bloodletters and the Shepherds. And so I would much rather have a hand of like 2 actions and then 1 Librarian as opposed to those starts like that don't really do anything. All right, we actually got a fairly Kaisa focused draw here. We might be able to hit evolve fairly quickly. There is an augment keyword coming out of the Voidling, which is kind of tempting to pick up. We'd be at 4 keywords after that, but I figure we could probably find some time to get another valid keyword. Action's just a little bit too important here. Like evolve isn't super important for us. Oh my god, we hit a lurk. Gotta emote that. You're gonna be popping off with these hatchlings. What we got now? Fated. Not super ideal with Fated. Given that we have the wow, just pokey sticking face. Given that we have the additional option for it. I think I'm just going to drop another Fearsome. I'm going to put a Bloodletters on one of our little bros here, and then just could try and continue on the aggression. Like it's going to be pretty tough for us next turn to not have enough mana to do everything. I want to load up the fearsomes. I don't quite care about Akshan getting into combat. Against decks like Nora, Akshan's not really going to do anything. He's going to attack and maybe kill a small unit, but at the end of the day, he's not going to be a big source of damage. And so not on this turn, but on our next attack, ideally, we'll still get to hit with the extra damage with these things. And we did miss with our Voidling. We hit Fearsome. Oops. Maybe we'll hit a couple turns from now. It's going to be really tough for us to hit Evolved anyways, right? We've got quick attack from Kaisa, whatever. Just say the Voidling hits perfect the rest of the way. We're still going to have to draw 2 more units to pop off. Okay. I was going to say, I'm not opposed to trying to kill stuff with this flipped action, but we're going to need a good unit to do it with. Now that he has Nami, he's officially hit a good unit. I had to stop and see. I'm not used to hitting Lurk and then having the valid allies, and so I had to check and see if we were going to give Kaisa a bonus if we played the second skin. We will if we second skin the Kaisa. Lurk Fearsome doesn't seem too obnoxious here. I really just planned on her in this deck to be picking up Overwhelm, but you can do what you got to do sometimes. Here we go. You want to give her the double strike. So what do we got? We need the Void Blasters at this point, but man, I feel like I'm really hit quick attack again with the Voidling. I'm really excited about the prospects of putting Papercraft Dragon on a Kaisa. So let's see how it goes. It's probably too greedy. If he just plays like 1/3 power unit, then it doesn't get to pop off. But man, we get to hit with this fearsome Kaisa. It's going to be pretty sweet. At the end of the day, we probably should have just played Void Blaster, but sometimes you got to just go for the memes, right? Oh. I wonder how many units are in this deck that could realistically block a fearsome double striking Kaisa next turn. Let's see. Anything good here? Fury. We need to drop the Fury just to get the keywords, but man, I want to go for the Papercraft so bad. Let's see. Let's give them the chance to play some stuff. I'm not as familiar with Nami Nora. A lot of these Nora decks tend to play mini morphs, and so Kaisa's probably not super safe as it is, but it'll be sweet if it pans out. He's gonna do something not cool, isn't he? That was at least a fast one, right? It wasn't a mini morph.
Look at them shaking in their boots. Ha!
Okay, we could still do it. Oh, okay. They'll line them up. I gotcha. I see what happened there. Unfortunate. Can we get a kill with the hatchling? He would come in for 8. I don't think we would have enough Kaisa damage after the fact. Alright. Dude's just gonna come out here and kill all of our stuff anyways. Just gonna be a lame-o. This is, as a play, is probably a little greedy. Putting the thing on the Dark Enthrall, like we're probably not going to lose this unit, and then we're not going to be able to get our Zolani back. I'm just kind of like being like, oh boy, look at all these stats we can add to the board, and don't really like this, but it's been done. We're getting real close to flipping the Warlord's Horde.
Persistence is key.
Okay. So one keyword away from the evolve. Not a lot of choices left. Can of course hit with the Papercraft Dragon, but not a lot of high hopes there. So on this board, like I'm looking to start taking advantage of the Warlord's Horde. So I'm saying like let's drop this thing. We'll have to overwrite a unit. That's okay. I want to improvise this thing that we already put the weapon onto. There's Scout. That's kind of nice.
We have something the boy will never understand. Me.
Now we should start popping off. I'm gonna look to do the spell shield on the Warlord's Horde. Oh, we hit the -1 power. He didn't hit the +2 cost on the Papercraft. we got lots of opportunity here. And he did go for the Papercraft. Cool. So now we can put the blood letters onto the Dark Enthrall. That's going to pop the Scout to our hand. Then we can put the Scout onto Kaisa. Then we can get back to doing those fun Kaisa things to where we get to attack multiple times. I'm gonna want to open attack with her next turn, and so he's just swindling our Sentinel's Horde. Clever. That's pretty clever. Too bad. Oh no, he can cast it. Oh my god, is he gonna pop off this turn off of our Sentinel's Horde? Oh Jesus. Oh my god. Gonna be here for so long now. I didn't realize we were playing against this dumb shit until the Shelfolk came down. Now we gotta see. All of his cards costing less let you basically just go infinite with the Shelfolk. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
I seem to have misplaced my self.
All right, let's see where this gets us. Not gonna play 20 more minutes a game, and so if he starts doing stuff, then sure. But this one should be done. I mean, all of his spells cost 2 less this turn, so everything that he's doing is going to be free. Okay, not dealing with it. I'm sure that would be fun for someone, but not worth sitting through. GG, I guess. Love that card. So much fun playing with Shelfolk. Oh my god. Alright, on to the next one. I still really don't know how that deck wins. There's some kind of combination of playing trinket trades and getting some kind of combat tricks into your hand or something. I don't know. Just more so than any card that should be complained about in the constructed format. It's that one. Just these action needs to go. These shelf folk things need to go. These should not be constructed relevant. But that's the world we live in, I guess. Was this Nightfall? Okay. I think we need to start with the Voidling. It's got Regenerate attached to it. Let's get a good keyword from the start. And then I'm fine to try and take down their units. This doesn't strike me as the kind of deck that's going to be playing, whatchamacallit, Hate Spikes. But it does make our action a little bit safer now. But no, there's a lot of cards you have to stop and ask yourself, you know, the various situations of fun having, and for the most part, all the cards in the game involve both players having fun and the back and forth that goes through with having the combats and things. But you have cards to me like concurrent timelines, where you try to imagine situations to where both players are having fun. And with concurrent timelines, it's basically non-existent. It's either opponent doesn't draw them, and then they're just playing a garbage deck. That doesn't sound like much fun. There's a situation to where they do draw it, and then basically give all of their units +2, +2.5 for the remainder of the game. That's not fun for you. What is the kind of median situation to where everybody's having fun with the concurrent timelines? And it doesn't exist. And so I go and I look at cards like these combos like that, to where they're doing something with the Shelf Folk. Still don't know what it is. It's a deck. There's been some iteration of the Shelf Folk deck around for ever since we started playing competitive. So it's been around for 3 seasonals now. Just zero fun. And so I don't know. Congratulations to whoever designed that one, I guess, but. It's just a card that shouldn't exist in a competitive constructed format. Someone's done something wrong, and so it can go. Timelines can go. I don't like Font of Power. I think all of Action is okay. Action is still overtuned. I think it's okay with overtuned cards existing, but Fount of Power needs to go. Just redesign him so that doesn't exist. Like there has to be some better options than these things. But here, we're gonna flip Kaisa next turn, assuming we can get out of this one without dying. And so let's drop Kaisa.
There's still time. There has to be.
And then next turn we can Ruin Runner. That's gonna flip her. We can second skin onto the Ruin Runner to maybe get something going. Here, we're gonna lose our action, but he should be able to take down whatever comes at him. This Nocturne's gonna go. Why would he hook with Nocturne instead of Doom Beast? Okay, then can we risk our Kaisa? If he has an Unspeakable Horror, we're going to lose our Kaisa. I don't feel like we can really win the game at that point. Let's just save that for next turn. So you can Pale Cascade the Doom Beast. That would take us to 3. Then we can still survive another Doom Beast. Okay with that. This one's going to take us down to 2. A little bit scarier. All right, what do we got in here? Not amped about any of these. I think we probably just want the Pokey Stick at this point. Like, we have enough units. Our units are going to carry us between all these Ruin Runners and everything. And so let's just keep the interactivity in the Pokey Stick. probably still not awesome for us. Lots of angles for death here. But again, like if we block with Kaisa and he has an Unspeakable Horror, we just lose. If he has a Pale Cascade, probably just lose. And so I'm willing to risk it. Okay, good job. On to the next one.
Pick yourself up. We'll learn and we'll overcome.
We'll learn and we'll overcome. You got it. It's tough playing against that on the ladder. Like if we're playing a best of 3, and we had their deck list, like if we're playing seasonals, you could really come out here and make a decision as to whether or not they're playing a bunch of the Nightfall Cycle and that 0 cost thing that puts cards into your hand. And ladder, it's just kind of hoping for the best. All right, this is ultimately what I have found against pirates in trying to play decks like this. Is you have to be able to survive the combats. If you're out playing the Demacia version of this stuff, it's so incredibly important to be able to have Durandi Sculptors that lets you come down and then just not lose the combats, so you can actually build up something. You can't come out and just trade 1-for-1 with pirates. You're going to lose the game like that. And that's what this game looks like it's starting to evolve into. I was hoping against the Mirai Warden that we can drop a tough block into it. It worked out to a degree, but we're going to still just have to lose our tough unit. We don't care about Dragon Chow, and so we can just start to trade away. We have Fury, another delightful keyword. A Hookmaster. Sure.
Sometimes you're the fish, sometimes you're the bait.
So where do we stand if we want to add stuff to the board? It doesn't seem that good. I think we're good to drop Fated. If we get a trade, it's okay. Like the Pot of Pain is like little scary here because it doesn't let our one power units win a combat, but I think we can build up fast enough to work around it.
Keep up.
He's got Zap. I assume he's going to drop a Pan of Pain onto the Warden. So we would like to have something that can block and stop this. Leaning towards just hitting our Fury unit. But man, we lose out on so many stats. We can trade the Shepherd into the Warden even if he puts the thing onto it. Let's just take the stats. And we hit Tough earlier. Quick Attack we haven't hit yet. That'll get us up to 4 keywords. And then we can evolve with the... We can hit Evolve pretty easily here. I think we probably still want Quick Attack, though.
Seen any sheep around here? I lost mine.
Through the coral.
Just Zap. Sure. So we can evolve 2 ways, right? We can play Ruin Runner or we can play the Hatchling Void Blaster. We haven't played Overwhelm or Spell Shield, and then we haven't played Overwhelm or Fury Lurk. It's like with this board, I'm fairly tempted to just drop the Ruin Runner, but having a 6/6 has to be so powerful here, right? So let's go about it this way. I'll drop the Hatchling first just to give a little protection to our Fury Voidling. There shouldn't be any like Make It Rains coming down out of the middle to protect against it, but wow, it did protect against Twisted Fate. That's pretty cool. Now we have the Void Blaster.
End of the frickin' world, huh? Let's go.
May we bleed forever.
Pretty good. We're starting to overcome here.
Life or theirs.
Get in for 6, KO 2 of his units while losing 2 of ours. He doesn't have a ton of means to just get wide here. We can just do stuff next turn, like drop Zolani onto the Dark Enthrall, so we have a really good blocker.
Let's do this.
Okay. This all seems positive.
More
we can spend the 7 mana on our next attack on a Ruin Runner and an Impact Blastcone Seedling. Uh-oh. Riptide Sermon. How do you feel about that? I thought he was just going to be dropping Decimates, and I was like, oh, fuck. Are we really doing that? Is that how this game's really going? So, not the case. Nothing changes here, right? We did pick up the Shepherd. We can drop the Shepherd, the Fix Him Up, and the Blastcone Seedling. I mean, technically, if we're just going to count stats, like we could do basically 6+1 with the Seedling, or we can do, like, I'm leaning towards some of these like quick attacks that we can put onto Void Blaster and still use it to block next turn. It's going to come down to, can we lethal this turn, right? And so we can do like 6, 12, 19, 21 with the Fix Him Up. He has 9 health. We're going to be a little bit short in those terms. And so I'd like to kill just as much stuff as we can. All right.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead.
We should still be able to have all of our units survive, though, right? We can put the Fix 'em Up onto the Ruin Runner, and then all of our units shouldn't die in combat. Come on, bud. Dumb cat. Come on. Can't figure it out.
I've never met anyone like you.
All right, so did we math that right? 15 and 6 is 21. He only needs 8 health to block, and he has it. But we're taking down the good section of his units. He has to block with the Zap, the Butcher. Not good enough. You gotta put Zap out there. Oh, the Eye. Oh, fuck. We're probably dead now. Zap plus any burn will kill us. Oh, noes. All right. Well, that was the highest angle of damage we could get in. The Wandering Shepherd wouldn't have added enough. The Blastcone Seedling would have just been 1. But now we're going to fall. Hit Elusive. Oh, we hit Elusive on the Voidling. Can't imagine we beat Pirates when they have 6 cards in hand plus 1 more draw for a burn. It's going to get hit with Zap plus a Noxus Blast. I mean, he might have picked up... I mean, I guess there's there's like that 1% chance where they just don't have it, but I can't imagine that happens frequently. We have to match him for width here. So... Got 6 coming at us. We'll die to... He needs 1 more damage. Better think on this one longer. How do I get my 1 damage in? We could have held the unit back to act like we had a Rite of Negation, but didn't quite pan out. GG. Phew, close. But yeah, with that game, you can kind of see how, like, what I was talking about with the terms of Durandi Sculptors, and going back to that Renekton deck that we played in the previous video. That was one of the big updates I made to the Renekton version, was getting the Durandi Sculptors in there. It just did, like, massive wonders in terms of improving the Pirates match. Alright, units only. Gonna lead out with the Impact Voidling. It's got a reasonable keyword. Nice for the aggression in the early game. I would expect the librarian to get mystic shotted here or thermogenic beamed here. It's fine. I like that more than opening. What up, Teemo? So how are we gonna hit here? I mean, we're gonna be able to hit evolved on our next turn. We'll hit the hatchling. We can drop Teemo here and then Void Blaster next turn. I'm on board. A bad turn 4 evolve.
Came a long way for a whooping.
Very kind of you to grace us with your presence.
All right, let's get into battle. I'd expect him to trade the Forge Worker with the Voidling. I don't really care what Forge Chief does. Losing Teemo is not a huge deal. Get to chunk in for 9. That's good in this match. We're gonna be winning this game through evolves, and so I don't really care about building board as long as we're getting the overwhelm damage in. And so the Voidling should be enough to shut down the Forge Chief here, as long as we can just continue on and get another overwhelm. Should be in a good spot. Him dropping Lux here would be a little bit scary, but
I dropped everything.
oh, we lost the Shepherd. Damn, I wanted the Hourglass to go so we could equip up the Void Blaster. Too bad. Alright, well I guess Kaisa counts as having another evolve. Having another overwhelm. Don't mind if I do.
The void. Their every move just makes me stronger.
Got him. Managed to win a game. I didn't think we had any more in us, but get us a victory. We got to drop out a diamond into platinum so we can get some wins with this deck. Okay, some kind of Gwen Pirates number. Not entirely sure what we're getting ourselves into, but I'll hang on to the Blastcone Seedling just to make sure we have some curve filler here in the early game. I would expect a lot of aggression coming out of this deck, so reasonable bro for us to have. Lifesteal on the Voidling's pretty good. Preserve all those healths.
But a joyous one.
Not quite ready to block here. We'll get to gain a fair amount of health with our Voidling. Get it equipped up with the Bloodletters.
Come in, come in.
That's slightly awkward. I want our Bloodletters back. I was thinking in my head is like, is there the world where we ever like open attack with this thing? And there isn't. We should have just held on to that. Now we're getting like hard punished for dropping that Bloodletters this turn. Can't come in with the Librarian at this point. Maybe we just pass here. Let's see what opponent does. Like, I'm not entirely opposed to dropping a Barrier Seedling and trying to attack, but we're not going to gather much board out of this.
No prey.
Probably rather just have it on a following turn. Oh, that's gross. Okay. And you're going to destroy our equipment? Oh, that's not cool, dude. That's not cool. I don't feel like this is a space to where we can Rite of Negation a heavy metal, but it's a little unfortunate. If it was like turn 7, then we would probably have some game in terms of blowing it up, but I think where we're at right now, we're just kind of stuck. So let's see if we can't at least stop Misfortune from attacking. If we take 4 from the host, that's okay. Right, he's Hallowed 1 plus a Misfortune shot for 4 in total. Whoa, he's coming right at us, huh? We're going to get Vile Feasted out of this? Nope. Graffiti has a secondary Misfortune. It feels like that was kind of a greedy Misfortune loss.
Seen tombs, towns, and everything in between.
Please, make yourself right at home.
Not quite ready to attack with the Ruin Runner. Just attacking him down to 13 and killing the Butler doesn't feel like it does a lot. Right, there's the equipment back. It's like now it's just too late. The assistant librarian's not particularly relevant. I'm just going to end up killing it off, but our mana's going to be fairly awkward from this point. Like if we need 8 mana next turn to play a unit and Bloodletters, and we just don't have it. We're 1 short. Or not Bloodletters, but we need it for next turn to play Zolani. And the Wave Rider. This was we can try it this way. This was what's his name? I think it was M Tux's tech for the Pirates deck, putting the Wave Rider in. Not my favorite choice, but it's been done. All right, then we didn't have Impact earlier, right? I'm going to want to be able to deal the point of damage with the Seedling. Let's hope the Evolve ticks. Okay, it didn't mess that one up at least. Interesting, he comes in with the Wave Rider. Did not expect that. Like, why? I guess he's just preventing the Overwhelm damage. He's blocked with his highest health units. That makes sense. Not blocking with his Tentacle, though. Alright, deck, can we survive into the next attack? That's what we need. Thank you. It's a little too much. We have to be able to block on this next attack, or he's just going to kill us. What you got? Doing something. Riptide Sermon, I think, would be okay if we then get to play the Librarian, block his biggest unit, and then follow up with Kaisa. Oh, well, the Harrowing's not okay. I know all about that. We touched on the Harrowing here recently. Oh man, the baits. He brings out the baits with the Riptide Sermon. I gotcha. Alrighty, let's get our final battle in here. The last one of the video. See if we can't salvage our win rate a little bit up into the 3 and 5. It sounds like whenever you get to say I had like a 35% win rate, it sounds a lot better than 25. So we'll see what we can do up against Akshan Lee Sin. Right. How do we feel about this Teemo Wandering Shepherd start? I think we can try it. The downside to this start is we're on the even attacks, and so Teemo doesn't get to be like super scary in the early game. But it takes this deck a while to get interactive with him. Like if they want to spend Sonic Waves to take down Teemo, I think it's something I'm okay with. Here he is. Do we ever just wait? Like, we have this assistant librarian. I can't entirely remember what their unit package is like. So, there is definitely a world where he doesn't have a unit here, and this assistant librarian gets to draw a card. But,
I do not break rules.
okay.
I bend them slightly.
Cool. Is he really going to come at us with a Sonic Wave onto Teemo? I mean, we drew our Singleton Ancient Hourglass. I'm not, like, amped about it, but
I fight with my spirits, not my fists.
let's see what happens. Let's wait till he attacks. If we 3-bank into the next turn, it's okay. We have plenty of stuff to spend our mana on. It is the Sonic Wave.
Villains beware.
All right, friend. Well, we're gonna we're gonna go in with the Teemo this game. Okay. All right. So the new thing I'm going to look to do now is take down his action. I don't want to get involved with his other units. I don't really want to have to shape stone action and attack into Eye of the Dragon. It just has too many negative outcomes to where he has a spell. But here with just the exhaust into action, we have a lot of better options. And so if he wants to come in and say like Buju style, it takes a ton of mana. We can still shape stone through it, but it's not as bad as some of these other cards we'd have to deal with. Now we're in a spot to where he can't Concussive Palm, he can't Homecoming, and we can be a little bit more aggressive into his action. And so I wouldn't be surprised for his action to survive, like if he burns 2 more cards to keep him up, but I think this is still okay. Nothing you can get out of a meditation, though. Okay. Yeah. That one had a puff cap attached to it. See if he drew action. If he drew action, he gets the Warlord's Horde. If he doesn't get the Warlord's Horde, that's a very positive outcome for us. So if he just drew Lee Sin instead of action, and he doesn't get the expensive thing. Okay. Cool. Rip Teemo. You fought hard, dude. You fought hard. So with that happening, I'm going to start looking to now playing the Ruin Runner this turn, both Wandering Shepherds next turn. So we can put a thing onto Ruin Runner, we can put a thing onto our Assistant Librarian. Go with it that way. Did draw action. Interesting sequencing.
I do not break rules.
I bend them.
I wonder if he just actually drew him off of the predict. That was kind of an odd way to go about getting action on the board.
In and out.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead.
Okay. Let's see what turns up. Interesting, more actions turning up. I'm not like amped about trying to go for the grappling hook now though. Scout's always nice to hit, but we can't get multiple scout attacks in. I guess we could go for scout and then put like the grappling hook into action, but that doesn't feel like a winning decision.
I mean, shut up and fight!
Alright, you can't take Scout with Akshan though. Non-zero chance that he gets a lot of love happening here. And then if opponent combat tricks him down, it's not awesome, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, doing your thing, huh?
In and out.
After them.
Not a chance.
Wow.
Fixing the world, one scoundrel at a time.
Wonder. Seems like we're about to just get OTK'd by Lee Sin. That's what I was curious about with that last attack when he's coming in with the 4-power unit. Is are we ever doing enough to survive through Lee Sin? Like 16's the place you don't want to be, right? They have, if you play Lee Sin and then double Absolver, that gets him up to the 8 power for the OTK, and that looks like what we're building to here. Can't tell how many spells he's played, but I guess it's probably enough at this point.
Self, you know.
I am the Teemo of the wind. Whoosh!
Alright, that's not Lee Sin. I did the mathematics on it. There he is.
The dragon spirit awakens.
So we do have the right of negation for the dragon kick. So I think we're safe.
Fate is what I make. My lad, prepare yourself. Center your spirit.
Okay, so action's going down. Definitely blocking his action. Need to get this dragon kick out here as well.
Said bonk.
So we take some damages. Some is better than taking lethal damages. And how are we going to get this going from here? We'd probably just bank this mana, drop the Ruin Runner next turn, and try and go for the kill. If that's the case, we probably want to just go ahead and Pokey Stick. Don't want to lose the game because our Pokey Stick got denied. And we'll have our 2 spell-shielded Overwhelmers coming at him. It's all about those puff caps, bro. So, can we actually go for Kaisa? That's a mistake, right? If we play Kaisa, and then she gets hit with a bounce spell or a concussive palm, then it just doesn't work out.
Sand and trouble.
The other thing we could potentially do here, depending on how much mana he drops, is put the Rake onto our new Ruin Runner, put the Merciless Hunter vulnerable onto something that doesn't kill it, and then we have the potential to get 2 attacks out of our Ruin Runner. So as it stands right now, it's just his Dragonling, which isn't that exciting. I think that's still how we want to handle it, though. Let's see if he spends any more mana. The other option is we can just put the vulnerable into Lee Sin and attack all at once. But he does have a blocker for our Merciless Hunter.
We love it when they run.
Much is this, 15? Guess we could we could have done a little bit of combat math before we actually attack, but this is 15. If he blocks with 9, that's not lethal. I think we got to do this scout thing. God. If he has a combat trick, we just lose the game, right?
Trample 'em.
We'll get our licks then.
We come like this, then he has 9 to put in front of our 15. So we're 1 short. but we would get to kill his Lee Sin in the process. All right. See how it goes. Oh, no combat trick? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's pretty cool. Squeeze them. Squeeze them cheeks. I think we're good. I think we finally got it. You can have like a barrier lifesteal card if that's in his wheelhouse, then whatever, I guess. I don't think that's something that typically gets played in Akshan Lee Sin, but oof. Able to take down the victory in the end. So GG's. What a stressful set of games. But able to take down a few victories nonetheless. We can pull this up and talk about it a little bit more. It's just not something I was entirely or super happy with. It's something that I feel like I wouldn't be opposed to just playing, Void Blaster in a Shurima deck. You used to see stuff like Akshan, or not with Akshan. You used to see stuff like Darius Nar. Those just playing a bunch of Overwhelm units, and like the things I'm kind of like thinking in terms of this here is there was like Darius Nar that just plays a bunch of Overwhelms, and then we also really liked the idea of playing the Hallowed units with Gwen, and then having the Overwhelms. That's what the Sejuani Gwen deck does. But what if you get to take it and push that into Shurima and take advantage of some of the better cards? And we did a harrowing video with that. We played Akshan Elise, and I wasn't really happy with the action there because it's just a non-bow in terms of pulling off the harrowing, to where you have the Warlord's Horde on the board and it takes up one of your spots and you can't punch in as much damage. I'm not sure if we just ran into it poorly at one point, or if more often than not that you just don't care, right? If you bring back like 25 power of Overwhelms instead of 30, is it really that big of a difference? Maybe not. Maybe Akshan's still powerful enough in that sense. But with this deck, I'm not like really happy with it. I do like this concept of expanding out on Akshan and the Bloodletters to where you have just a little bit better early game options, and then having that tied in with the Wandering Shepherd, right? So you have the Akshan, the what do you call it, the Librarian, and then the good ways to target right from the start. But I feel like we kind of didn't get enough raw power out of it here. And so I'm not entirely certain where, if I wanted to like continue on with this, how I would take it. Like, I didn't like the Evolve package. I thought that it might be a little bit better, given that if we say like play a Xerxai Hatchling and put the Bloodletters on it, we have the opportunities for value. Same thing with the Voidlings and everything else, but it was a little bit too challenging to pull off the Evolve. And so maybe with another set or something coming out, or with a little bit different mix of units, it would be a little bit more okay. But I wasn't happy with how quickly we were hitting our evolutions here, and it just didn't pan out quite enough. The other thing that's kind of scary with this format is, as you are trying to cast your spells with Kaisa, it's just so many opportunities for her to get hit with Homecoming or Concussive Palm or Vengeance or Mini Morphs or whatever. And so I do like the idea with this deck to where we're not like super all in on Kaisa, right? You don't have to have these turns to where you have Kaisa with Scout Challenger and then you just get a sort of pseudo OTK with her evolution. But I thought that she might function as kind of a secondary Overwhelm, but then you kind of run into these spots to where you need to be open attacking, and Kaisa doesn't really flow into that if you have to be playing the second skin preemptively. And so, interesting deck. I wouldn't recommend that you play this in anything, but we did come across some interesting ideas and concepts that we'll keep in our head as the format changes. I don't know if the upcoming patch is going to have changes in it, but if it is, maybe there'll be something there. As new cards come out, maybe there'll be something there. As the standard format potentially comes out next year, might be something there. And so I like some of the ideas and some of the concepts, the faded with the darkened bloodletters and everything, but this deck didn't really feel like a competitive contender. But nonetheless, I had fun with it. I hope you did too. And that's going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. Maybe learned how to put the blood letters on your blast cone seedling a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust and we thank you for being here.